everyone, I'm Ione Butler. I am the founder of Uplifting Content, and today I'm doing a live stream that's a different time schedule to what we normally do, but I wanted to make it work because I am speaking to the wonderful Justin Brown, where are you, Justin, right now?
Right now I'm in Castlemaine, which is a country town just outside Melbourne in Australia. I'm here for my best mate's wedding.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And so, yeah, 12 noon when we normally do the live stream was not going to be appropriate. So thanks for everyone that's jumping on it right now. And Justin is the man behind Ideapod. We share their articles on our page because they're absolutely fantastic. And so there's the Ideapod blog, but then they also have, him and his brother have Ideapod. So first of all, thank you for talking to us, Justin.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure, and anytime. And yeah, if you could just share with people what Ideapod is, please.
Well, Ideapod is a digital media platform providing commentary on the ideas shaping our future. And that can be the kinds of ideas about human relationships, how we connect with each other, society, ethics, values, where we're headed, but it can also be technology, cryptocurrency, a whole range of different things. And we create a lot of content. And we also have a social network, which is where everyone can come and share their own ideas and connect with each other. And from the social network, we've had a lot of wonderful people meet, build businesses, fall in love, fall out of love, like the whole gamut of the human experience that comes through the sharing of ideas. So so it's a digital media company. We create a lot of content, and we also have a social network where everyone can come and connect as well.
I love it. I need to spend more time on the Ideapod website, actually, because I've definitely checked it out, but I think that's great. What have been some of the ideas that have really resonated with you, or like stories of these people that have fallen in and out of love?
Well, I've seen people courting each other, on the side, and something really special about sharing ideas. I think.
Whoa.
I've seen people courting.
Whoa!
Each other, we've got a big echo.
I know. So sorry. Here's
ideas. I think.
What? Sorry. What are your? Whoa!
We've got a big.
Okay, 2 seconds. Sorry. What are your? Okay. Is it stopped now? I'm sorry.
I think we're okay. Yeah.
So what I wanted to do was, sorry about that, just cluster fuck everybody. I wanted to change the title of the thing to what are your ideas that can change the world? And so that we can have people engaging in our conversations at the same time. But because I did that, it just became like a crazy manic thing. So I apologize. But you were saying people's ideas that have been cool.
Yeah. So the whole proposition of Ideapod is that the best way to meet each other and get to know each other is through the sharing of ideas. I mean, we can use Tinder to find people we're attracted to on that first glance. We can use LinkedIn to see who's got a similar kind of professional career. And then Facebook's great for keeping in touch with friends, and Instagram for pictures from parties and everything like that. And that's all really important and a key part of the human experience in terms of how we communicate and connect and collaborate. But where's the place for us to actually share what we want to create in the future, what we think needs to change, what we think needs to happen? And when we get to know each other, when we cut through everything else and we just go straight into ideas, that's when I think the best human relationships are formed, because it's quite collaborative, it's co-creative. I mean, I think me and you are a great example. We've met through Uplifting Content and through Ideapod, the Facebook pages. We realize that we share a mission about providing great content that uplifts, inspires, gets people thinking. And I would say we're quite good friends already, even though we haven't met in person, and I don't really know much of your professional background and where you work and things like that. And to me, it doesn't really matter as much as the fact that we share a mission and we have a lot of alignment. And so that's what Ideapod's about. We help people explore their own humanity and connect with others through the sharing of ideas.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very cool. Can you think of any that have any ideas that have really resonated with you?
Well, there's so much.
And how does it work? So somebody has a proposition, and then other people add to it, and
yeah. So it works. It's like Twitter, where you, instead of creating tweets, you create ideas. Ideas are limited to 1,000 characters, so it's a little longer than a tweet. You can actually share a little more, and you can create a lot of ideas. It's kind of like micro blogging. And what we found is that by limiting expression, it's actually a lot harder to come up with something quite constructive and well formed, and you have to be quite succinct as well. And the beauty of it is that people build on each other's ideas in the responses, and you can relate each other's ideas. And the community is really constructive. They listen to each other, hear each other out. There's some very controversial ideas being shared that anywhere else I think would almost get people banned from a social network. But we're all about just exploring it through the sharing of ideas. I think probably one of my favorite things that happened on Ideapod recently was we partnered with the Commonwealth Bank Innovation Lab in Australia. And they ran a hashtag called Tech for a Cause, where they asked Ideapod to provide new ideas for new kinds of social business models. And they asked for new ideas related to diversity, financial inclusion, climate change, and a few different things like that. And this is, Australia's largest bank is actually reaching out to a community to get their ideas. And we ran through a process, a challenge. We had a few online discussions, an offline discussion, and there was a winning idea, which they're now going to help create. And the winning idea was someone said, we need to create an app for victims of domestic violence where we pre-record in the app their voice, their cries for help, and the app is always listening through the Siri technology for that person's cry for help, and then it automatically calls that person's loved ones to get them to come and visit right away.
Wow.
It's a brilliant idea. And that was shared by Terry Sadhu, who's been on Ideapod for a few years, and he grew up in a family where his mother always helped people, help victims of domestic violence. It came from his experience, and he thought this is what we need to create. The people at Commonwealth Bank thought that's a great idea. The next stage is they're actually going to help turn that idea into reality. So that's a recent one that I'm really so happy to be involved with, and can't wait to see what comes of it.
That gives me chills. That's such a powerful thing, and I think that's one of the missions with the thing that I love about what I'm doing and with Uplifting Content is I'm always speaking to and finding people like yourself, the people that I'm meeting and interviewing for this, but then also the people that I partner with and stuff. So many people are on a mission to help and create and support and be of service. And there's so many people doing that. And the more I hear, I get so emotional, because the kind of idea of the world is that, everything sucks and blah, blah. And I'm like, no, there's so many people trying to do good. And I love that this bank have helped in that way. Now, a couple of days ago, I spoke with Ione Butler, who is the founder of Life Vest Inside. She did this beautiful video called The Kindness Boomerang that you would have seen. It went viral. It keeps going viral all the time. And she's trying to raise $100,000 so that she can go from the West Coast to the East Coast doing workshops on kindness in schools and all these things, and is struggling to raise the money for that. And so I love that. What I want to be able to do, and you're already doing it, which is fantastic, is help people that have these missions to get the financial support that they need, because surely it's in the best interest of an organization to back somebody that's doing this incredible thing, to help support that. What are the ways do you think that we can help? I mean, you're doing it through that competition that you have with the bank, but help get money into the hands of people that are trying to do these things?
I think the most important thing is to help create a cultural shift where people feel that their ideas can actually be heard and valued, and something can happen from it. That's what we try to do with Ideapod, where I think there's this perception amongst many people in society that their ideas don't actually matter. You feel kind of stuck in a corporate rut in your job, or you might be, trying to work your way up the corporate ladder, or you don't even have a job in the first place, for example. And I think if we can create this shift where it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, actually your direct experience of whatever's going on around you is the most important thing. And that's what we need to listen to more and more. So I feel you're already doing it yourself, Ione, by giving voice to people along the way and inspiring people through this massive Facebook page that you've managed to build, which is just so incredible. But I think the most important thing is to help support a cultural shift so that more ideas get out there. But the next thing is that we need to talk about those ideas and refine them, because the reality is it's through collaboration, through conversation that we get better, that we figure out what actually needs to happen. And sometimes your first idea is not the idea you end up building, but by getting it out there, you test it and you help to refine it along the way. So I don't think we necessarily need to fund all of the best ideas out there. Otherwise, we'd end up funding things that just don't work. But rather, we create a cultural shift, help more ideas see the light of day to find the most effective ones that will actually create the change.
Mm-mm. And yeah, you're right. And I think back to the times where I've started things, and there was a quote about, it was, how many times do people try something and fail before they give up? And the answer is like, it's like zero, because most people have an idea and don't even try, like don't even start. And so, and I've noticed that within myself, there's times where it's been a real struggle to make something happen, to start something, because of all the doubts and all the fears and what will people think. And, you know, I was doing, before this series, I was doing sort of talks on my own podcast about depression and all sorts of things, and the self-consciousness of, who am I to say this to somebody else? And then finally it's finding that confidence to do something and starting. And so I feel like there's empowering people to have their idea and act on their idea is a big part to play in it too, because a lot of the time we're kind of not wired in that way, and there's so many haters. And actually I've started a lot of businesses and failed at a lot of businesses, and not many people do that. And so it's like in encouraging people to fail and just try and fail, and if you do fail, that not be the reason that you don't do anything else. Because I've had people say that in the past, well, that didn't work, why are you trying this? Well, because how are things going to work if I don't keep trying things?
I think that's right. The one of the mantras we repeat often at Ideapod is perfection is the enemy of progress, and you and I have spoken about that before too.
Yeah.
I think there's real beauty in just getting started and things kind of screwing up a little bit along the way, and that's how you actually refine things and you just get going. And that's what we do our best to do at Ideapod with everything, and we just keep on relentlessly improving things bit by bit, and we just sort of find our way. And I think that's really important for anyone, you know, anyone out there, whatever you're trying to do, just get started and adopt that attitude that you can keep on learning from the mistakes.
Yeah, 100%. Can you tell me your, well, first of all, people, I would also like to hear from people about what your ideas are that can change the world. I don't know if I managed to change it properly earlier on when I was causing a hoo-ha and all that racket on the page, but we'd love to hear some of your ideas. Mark Smith, is he a friend of yours, Justin?
Mark Smith is an idea potter. He's been with us as a user for many years. I think he's almost created the most ideas on Ideapod. It's a really good friend as well. So it's glad to see you there, Mark. Unfortunately, I can't see the comments because I'm coming in through my phone. But yeah,
he's all about it. There's lots of ways to use Ideapod, and then he's putting links. So Mark, what are your he knows that we're talking about him now. We'd love to hear some of your ideas that you've submitted to Ideapod. So if you want to share some of those, that would be great. And then also anyone else who's got ideas that can change the world, because I want to hear them, because I feel like if you just any idea, like just getting them out there. So while people get the confidence up to share with us some of their life-changing worlds, Georgia, thank you. She says, hey guys, I'm really enjoying this conversation. Georgia, what are your ideas that will change the world? Can you tell us, please? And while people are leaving those comments, I'd love to hear from you, Justin, like your vision for Ideapod, where you see it going, and then I want to share mine for Uplifting Content too.
Yeah, so we've evolved, particularly the last 6 months, because we created the blog, which has just gotten so big in the last, particularly the last few months. I mean, we've crossed over about 5 million monthly readers, and it just seems to keep on growing. A lot of them coming through blog.
That's right.
Yeah, no, we've shared quite a few articles on your page, which has been really great. So we are, evolving into being a digital media platform, creating the content about the ideas shaping the future. And we also have our social network, which is where the ideas that are launched on the blog are discussed in more detail and people connect and share their own ideas. We're also soon launching an Ideapod Academy. You've been in touch with Kat Dunn, one of our team members, and we have our very first ticketed event in Sydney next week.
Ooh.
It's called Reimagine, and we're exploring the business models of the future by looking at the intersection of philanthropy and business. And we've got some really incredible speakers, and the Ideapod events are all about bringing the speakers together with the participants to kind of co-create something together through the sharing of ideas. So that's a big part of what we're doing, and we're looking at creating quite large-scale ideas festivals. So in short, we want to keep on growing the digital media platform to be one of the quite big media companies out there where we can all come together through the sharing of ideas.
I love that. Well, good luck with your event next week. How many people are attending? Do you know yet?
It's I think about 70 people have gotten tickets so far. Today is the last day to get your tickets. So if you're interested, go to the Ideapod Facebook page. If you're in Sydney, go to the Ideapod Facebook page and then go to the events section, and there you'll find a link for all of the details. It's going to be a really great environment. I'll be there. I'm going up to Sydney for it. But really excited about that, because that's the first event of its kind for Ideapod, and Kat's been driving this for quite some time now. And I think that's going to help to reshape kind of who we are as we bring the online component into the offline, so we get together in person, which is where the best connections can be formed.
I agree. Now,
we should do one with Uplifting Content sometime and get people together, so that all of your fans can actually meet in person and see what we can create.
I would love that. I mean, so some of the ideas that I have for Uplifting Content is working on like really delivering like a stunning website. The whole point of Uplifting Content was because I was tired of seeing like negative news all the time, and whenever I want to watch TV, I want to watch something that makes me feel good, and I could never find it. Like, it's really difficult to find content on television that puts you in a good mood. And so the idea is that Uplifting Content is a hub, like a YouTube of inspirational uplifting content, that whenever you just want to be uplifted, you come, and there's just it's just a wealth of beautiful video content and blog posts and just stuff that leaves you inspired and motivated and stuff. So still working on the website to get that like fully optimized and running smoothly. And then and then the other thing that is about encouraging people to help and be of service and take action, because I think so many people want to help, so many people want to do things, but they just don't really know where to start, and so or what they can do. And so it's creating a platform where people can share their cause, what they're trying to do, what they're raising money for, what they need help with, and then other people can come on board and volunteer, not just their money, because I think it's more rewarding to give things other than money, but give their time and resources and skills to help things. And then one of the ideas I had recently too was a uplifting film festival. So like, I love sharing other people's uplifting content. And so having a film festival where anyone that makes like an uplifting short film or whatever can enter to win, hopefully, a ton of money if I manage to get sponsors to get people enough money. For
the sponsors out there, reach out now, because Ione's doing great things.
I need some sponsors, people. It's really hard to monetize, to like really do great things with this. And so that's definitely something I need to work on too. So yeah, and so I think the idea of making it in person, so that we're not just seeing people on Facebook or on a website, but actually in real life, is so important. I was at a Kyle Cease event this weekend. Do you know?
Nice. Yes.
He's amazing. He's amazing. And he had this 1,400 people theater full of just people. And they're part of his community, and they're all in a Facebook group, and they were just so like passionate, and everyone there was about bettering themselves and like doing and like creating something. Everybody had an idea and a vision, and they were on a mission, and that was beautiful. And so I want to bring the Uplifting Content community together for that too. And definitely I think that both of our audiences should just be the same, because it's like the same thing.
I had an idea, as you were saying, but the first thing I want to say is my favorite quote by Kyle Cease is, "You are what you love, not what loves you." And I find that so profound, because we can always try to see ourselves through other people's eyes and conform to expectations and things like that. But really, we are what we love. Like our energy comes from within, and we need to sort of love ourselves first as we engage with the world. And I've always found that really profound. I saw it in a video by Kyle Cease. But the other idea that comes to mind for the sponsors out there, what if we were to see Ideapod and Uplifting Content join forces and create a game-changing film festival, ideas festival of some sort? If you're out there and you want to see that happen, reach out to us, because I think we could create magic together.
Yes. Let's do that. I was like, yeah, I'm going to like start small and just have like a little thing. I'm like, no, let's
just do it.
Sponsors, let's get like hundreds of submissions. Let's have it like a whole week event in some theater somewhere amazing in the world.
I think it'd be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that's part of my plan for the new year. There's just so many things that I'm trying to do all simultaneously, which is a little bit dumb, but But yeah, I definitely will continue talking about that. Just seeing if we had any comments from people. One of them from Hazel was plant in the youth's mind that they are capable of doing a lot of things, productive things. I totally agree, Hazel. And what was your way of implementing that? I think that what's amazing with Orly Waba, who I was mentioned from the other day, she's doing this tour across America, like speaking to kids in schools and stuff like that. I definitely would love to have uplifting content programs. Oh my God, this is coming to me right now. Uplifting content programs where we have like a team of people that we can train in workshops, and they like can volunteer their time, people that want to give back and help. And then we have a program that I train them in, and then they go out to all these schools and provide free workshops. I've just had that idea. Thank you, Hazel, to Jeno. You're a rock star, because that's something that I can do. It doesn't even take money. This is great. Thanks.
Well, this is what I think. This is kind of like a hacking inspiration session, an ideation session.
Yeah.
Maybe we should even do these regularly, where we say, okay, you've got uplifting content and this huge distribution channel, right?
Yeah.
And I'll come with Ideapod. We've got a hacking inspiration methodology, the Ideapod Academy, a network of influencers, and also a decent distribution channel. But we actually need new ideas from our community, and then you and I can do an ideas jam and see what's possible and see what we even come up with on the spot and start to make ideas happen. It's kind of what's happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're doing it. I love it. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this whole like school program that could happen around the world. Because
I think it's incredible.
Yeah, what I loved about speaking to Orly is, so she's got this dance competition. It's called Dance for Kindness that she's launching in November. And basically she has people volunteer in different cities around the world. And then they're like the head of that city. And then they all get sent these online resources. She speaks to them all, trains them all, and then they do it. And then they organize these like big group dance sort of dance flash mob things. And so that's how she does that. And so, yeah, there's so many people that say they want to help. We could definitely create a program and then just have people go out to schools and just do
Well, I really think we should explore this, because it's what we're talking about with Ideapod and the Ideapod Academy is creating an education and learning program through the content that's created online and sort of repackage it. But to focus on the young people of today, I think is really powerful, because when I think about ideas and how powerful ideas are, the flip side of this is that what's powerful is unlearning our ideas, actually letting go of our ideas, because we acquire our ideas often from family situations, education systems, and the world changes really fast, and it's changing faster and faster with technology. So really one of the fundamental skills of the 21st century is unlearning, is actually letting go. That's why I think the ideas of young people are so powerful, because they've had less time to be conditioned by us older people.
Yeah.
So we need to do some kind of drive.
And then so having this school program be like, not only is it something where we have volunteers from our communities go out and teach these programs, but the emphasis of the programs being about inspiring young people to create all these ideas and implement their ideas, and like get started if they've got like some kind of philanthropic idea, and then helping kids to actually do that. So empowering them from a young age to like, this is brilliant.
Now, for everyone out there, it's not just for younger people. So often when we talk about coming up with ideas, because Ideapod, we've been focused on this for years, so it's almost like ideation is our thing. Often the best way to come up with ideas is to access the inner child within, that kind of like inner playfulness, a little bit of joy deep inside you. And whenever you can find access to that, whether everyone's got their ways of finding it. It can be through meditation, through visualization, through getting out into nature, but often it's just letting go of things and accessing the inner child. For everyone out there, if you can find your way to do that, that's where I think we start to really grab hold of some amazing ideas.
Yeah. Well, I'm already buzzing with all the ideas.
Cool.
Georgia has given us a nice little thing. I haven't read it yet, so I'm going to read it out now. She says, my idea. That I feel I'm finally gathering the courage to put it out there after years. Fantastic. Okay. It's around how the current deep nature of our global economic system and the nature of money itself is in deep conflict with the human experience. Wow. Economics is something created for humans by humans, and yet it's integrally non-human. Agreed. It's not real. Money isn't real. It's just an idea that we all believe in. It works against human well-being, and most humans don't even understand it are alienated by it. Totally true. I want to facilitate a very open global conversation and language around where money and economics is for all of us as humans and where it could be. Wow, this is fantastic. I believe that money and the human experience of shame are very much interconnected, which is a discovery that came out of a lot of research I've been doing. And so I want to open up that conversation and look into healing that. Thank you for asking these questions and creating this space to share. Georgia, that's incredible. And so powerful and so true. And wow, I'm definitely like, well, first of all, we need to go to Ideapod.
Well, there's a lot of ideas on the concept of money. There's a user called Ted Howard who thinks that this is the fundamental thing we need to focus on, is how we assign units of value to things in our economy, and the whole monetary system's kind of, these are ideas that help us exchange value, but it takes us away from the core essence of the product. And when you look at the whole economic system today, I mean, everything around me that I'm consuming, I'm having a coffee right now, I'm so disconnected from whoever's created the coffee in the first place and all of the different supply chains involved to get this coffee in front of me. And money's enabled that transaction to occur, which is amazing. It's created so much wealth and progress and technology and better living standards over the years, but surely we can still rethink it at the same time and come up with new ideas. And we see the emergence of cryptocurrencies around the world, which is both very exciting and yet quite alarming at the same time, because there's also a monetary unit of value as well. And there's the value of the currency of Bitcoin and Ether and everything. And it kind of like goes in a similar direction too. So can we do away with money altogether? And there's a whole lot of communes that have been created where people get rid of it, and they've got their challenges and opportunities, but problems as well. And for me, what matters is not the actual solution that we come up with, but the fact that we're talking about it in the first place. And it's through that process of sharing ideas that solutions start to emerge. But I don't know what the solutions are. But come to Ideapod, and in the search bar, type money, and you will see a whole range of ideas on this concept. Yeah. I have a feeling that Mark Smith is probably putting some of them in the comments at the moment. He's amazing on the live videos.
He's definitely putting some links to things in here, so I appreciate it. Georgia, that's fantastic. Please go to Ideapod and
that's great.
I've got somebody whose name is not is written in a way that I can't read. But your comment is, first think, start from your neighborhood, improve the relations between neighbors. That's true. Building communities. Yeah. Build a real society, not a social media one. Yeah. Societies are building through materialism nowadays. Without a socialized society, you will never have the opportunity to make anything real instead of digitalized revolutions. Yeah, I get your point there. And I think that's what we're trying to say is having these online communities, both of us, having these online communities, but it not just being, for me, it's not about just having a passive audience that just sort of sit there and watch. It's about also engaging the audience and getting people to take action and help and support each other's causes and inspire people to do something like that. I can't single-handedly change the world, but I can inspire millions of people to do something that will help change the world. And so, yeah, that's a great point. Someone whose name I can't pronounce because it's not written in letters that I understand. And then there's Dennis, who said, "How about we collectively fund one?" Fund what, Dennis? What was that in reference to? I'll put 500 toward it. Woo! What? We don't know.
500 what?
$500 towards it, but I'm not sure what he means.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know, because sure, that will go towards something good. Anyone else want to join? Awesome. Cool. Well, Justin, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Like, I can just chat to you for hours and get really hyped up and excited. So
wonderful.
Being on the live stream with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Ione. I really appreciate it. I love the partnership that we've got between Ideapod and Uplifting Content, and it sounds like there's a lot of great things to come as well. And thanks everyone for joining us too and sharing your ideas. Really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Cool. Well, we will be back soon with another live stream. I can't remember when the next one is. I think it's with Kevin Benavides this weekend. So thanks very much, everyone. And I will see you soon. Mwah! Take care. Bye.